Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so I think it's the end of this narrative. You've heard it a million times, right? The concept of the blue utopia. Democrat cities and states are so much better than red states and cities. Yeah, well, what a load of you-know-what that is. But I know it's been the Democrat go-to argument for a very long time. I guess until now. That narrative has totally collapsed as now even people like Bill Maher, longtime die-hard lefties, are finally admitting the truth. The cracks are showing, the collapse is in full effect, and they're essentially fully admitting how burdensome and dysfunctional Democrat leadership has become. You know, it started off with right-wing companies leaving California, then people like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, and the left always suggested that there was nothing really to it. But now I guess even Bill Maher's on board. Even he is admitting that California is an absolute disaster, an absolute mess. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's just play the Bill Maher clip and then build on the concept. Take a look.
California is projected to lose 3 seats, New York 2, also going to lose a seat, Minnesota, Oregon, Rhode Island, Illinois, all blue states. Who's getting these? Texas, Florida, Idaho, and Utah. I mean, this looks like game over. And the reason why people are voting with their feet is taxes and regulation. I certainly been screaming about it forever. I did 3 years with a sign here that said, how long is it going to take me to get my solar hooked up? 3 years. Talking about it on television. This state has almost 400,000 regulations. I just put in a new roof because the fire, I thought, oh, let's get a roof that's not going to burn up. 2 inspections. Why are you inspecting my roof? It's my f***ing roof. If it falls on me, that's my problem. And we're taxed more than any other state. People are leaving these kind of states for places where they're not, they feel the heavy breath of government on them. It's not that hard for Democrats to understand this, but they seem to be incapable of doing anything about it.
So we poll this. They're leaving on cost of living. They are driving people out, working class families out of the states they govern because the cost of living is too high. And the cost of living is too high in part for regulatory reasons, in part for taxes. But the big problem is they just don't have enough of the things people need. Not enough homes, not enough energy, not a government capable of delivering. And they've been treating that as not a real problem. You were talking about your solar sign. California high-speed rail, it's a huge disaster, but nobody's ever done anything about it. If you tried to build it again, it would go the exact same way.
High-speed rail?
Yeah, California's high-speed rail.
I think they just voted about something about it again. Just give up. Just to build, I think, from Bakersfield to Merced. Who the hell wants to go from Bakersfield to Merced? And they couldn't do that.
The problem is that the right, we've just been talking about this, the personality type of the right is autocratic now, and the personality type of the left is bureaucratic. And you can't govern if you are this obsessed with process. And you can see it in the outcomes. If the places you govern are not advertisements for your governance, you are going to lose.
Why is that any different than what they're doing in the red states?
So,
deregulate, lots of energy, lots of building.
In part, there are places where red states have it right. Look, Houston and Austin, when people move there, they build more houses. They just do. They build multiples more houses per, 1,000 people who come in there than LA and San Francisco and New York City do.
It's crazy how long it takes these people to come to the realization. You know that solar panel story that Bill Maher referred to? It took me 2 years to install solar on my roof. That probably happened during the Obama administration, during the big solar rush, right? When that was all the rage for liberal elitists. And now it clicks for Bill Maher that it's not normal for something so simple to take 2 freaking years? Not to mention they're supposedly the party of progress, right? The party of fixing problems, and also the party of climate hysteria. The world's ending literally tomorrow if we don't transition to clean energies. Then it takes freaking years to get anything done, anything built. Oh, I guess, well, it's not that much of a rush, right? Still gotta jump through 16 freaking hoops to get anything done in a damn blue state. But anyways, it feels like finally these people are realizing that the overregulation, the red tape, the endless government nonsense, it's anti-progressive. It gets in the freaking way, that's all it does. It doesn't really provide value for people. Now these leftoids are finally catching on to the obvious that every normal, sane, productive citizen should have probably realized in their late 20s, early 30s, once the left-wing academic brainwashing fell off. But of course, as we know with these leftist ideologues, appealing to common sense, showing them the failure of their policies is never what convinces them. It's never the catalyst for them to open their frickin' eyes. No, it's only when their political power and influence is starting to get threatened that they then finally realize the error of their ways. And that's exactly what's happening here. People like Bill Maher are finally coming to the conclusion because they've realized that their party is in complete disarray, their party is collapsing. And of course, it's having some pretty bad impacts for the Democrat Party moving forward. I mean, first off, the majority of the country is now behind the Republican Party. Donald Trump won the popular vote. And now moving into 2030, thanks to the migration patterns showing people fleeing blue states and heading straight to Republican-led states, states like Florida and Texas are projected to gain 4 seats each after the 2030 census. In other words, Republicans are gaining more influence electorally, and Democrats are losing political power. And that's now leading to a serious, sober realization. People are voting with their feet. Businesses are fleeing in droves. The cost of living in Democrat-controlled cities is becoming unbearable. Crime is skyrocketing. In other words, regardless of all the sanctimonious crap from these self-righteous Democrats, the reality is they're losing the conversation. They're losing the debate on policy. And now they're getting hit with a massive reality check, as the voters are rejecting them, not just by fleeing their states because they don't want to deal with the woke insanity anymore, but also by sending a very clear message at the state. You know, California is shifting right more than most other states in the nation. It's not just that Republicans registered over 1 million voters since 2019. It's also this, a shocking new poll that just dropped from KABC. 48% of California voters are now open to voting Republican for governor next year. Let me repeat that. Nearly half of California is considering a Republican governor. The cracks are forming, and that's not all we saw from this poll. It's also exposing some brutal truths for the Democrats. 83% of voters said that gas prices are too high in California, which is mostly due to gas taxes. 72% say homelessness is out of control, despite years of Newsom's billion-dollar solutions, right? 71% believe that Democrats have failed to fix the cost of living crisis, and 69% believe that Democrats have done nothing to lower utility and energy costs. It's frickin' over. The myth of California being this blue utopia no longer stands, and it's gotten so bad now that they're possibly on a path moving forward here to elect, again, a Republican governor. Essentially, the failure of Democrat leadership has been cemented, and now we got people like Bill Maher forced in a position where they have to finally admit the truth. As we always say, right? You know, Democrats love to pretend as if they're at the cutting edge of ideas. They're such leaders, but they're always late to the trend, and they only ever admit the truth after they have absolutely no other choice. But anyways, I guess it's the end of the conversation. You know, a while back we had the battle of the governors, where Governor Gavin Newsom and Governor Ron DeSantis were debating each other and comparing their records. The conversation's done. Republican ideas have won, and the Democrats are now in full retreat, as are the voters with any brains left who retreated from these blue dystopias. But anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.